Hi, everyone. Welcome to Restitch America. My name is Ohene-Opare, and I'm very excited to be here with you today. This is episode number 7 of our show, and this is season 2. And today I'm very excited to kind of take a break from a little bit of the doom and gloom in the world and the happenings and talk to someone who has recently come on my radar, and her name is JoNeal. And so we'll be talking to JoNeal today. But before we delve into the episode, I want to remind everyone, if you have not already done so, to go like, comment, share our videos. That's the way you can support our show. And you can also share it with your family and friends, post it on social media. And this really encourages us and helps us to keep doing what we're doing. So if you like the show, please go and support us. And for those who are already doing that, thank you so much. When I get messages from you about your support, that is a thing that keeps me wanting to do this. And it keeps me feeling like we're making a little bit of a difference. And so thank you all who have supported us since the beginning. So today we're going to talk to JoNeal, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an intro to how JoNeal came on my radar. So 2 episodes ago, I was here with Jenny, my producer, and as we were talking about various things, JoNeal's name came up. And Jenny told us that JoNeal was a musician who at some point was wondering whether she wanted to kind of keep going with that. And she gave her some words of encouragement, and little did she know that those simple words actually made a difference in JoNeal's life. And she had basically gained the courage to release a single. And I had the opportunity to play that song on the show a couple of weeks ago. So today I've taken the opportunity to invite JoNeal to our studio so she can share with us her story and how her continuous belief in her dreams has brought her where she is today. So welcome to the studio, JoNeal.
Thank you, Alma. I'm happy to be here.
All right, so let's just get right into it. So introduce yourself to the audience a little bit and tell us who you are and a little bit about your background.
Okay, well, my name is JoNeal Bravo. My background is actually mostly around children and friends and family because I'm a stay-at-home mom. So I've been a stay-at-home mom for 10 years and I love writing songs. So I have been writing songs for fun for around 14 years. And just within the last 2 years, I've gotten more serious about it and was able to produce my first song October 13th.
That is awesome. That is okay. I have some stuff I'm going to tell you, but it's going to come up during during our discussion today. So, JoNeal, where do you live? Are you in Utah with me?
Yes, I'm in Utah, Eagle Mountain.
Okay, so you're right around the corner. And
Mhm.
this was, I don't know if you heard this story, but I'm going to repeat it just for your benefit. So, how did Jenny and I meet? And so, Jenny, my producer, is your friend. Actually, it was kind of funny. Jenny saw a video of mine online, and she reached out to me randomly on social media and said, "Hey, I like what you're doing. I feel like there's a calling for me to do something, and I haven't figured out what it is yet. And so maybe let's talk a little bit." And I said, "Hey, I'm interested in chatting." And she apparently had recognized that I was wearing a shirt, and she knew that the shirt was a coach's shirt, a soccer coach's shirt
Oh,
for the local area where we are. And so she recognized that and she asked, and I'm like, oh, we, so she didn't know I lived in Utah as well. And I lived in Saratoga Springs. So we were really close to each other. And funny thing, I was coaching my son's soccer team. She was coaching her son's soccer team. And we happened to be practicing with both our teams on the same field. And we were able to meet up there, and that's how we met. And so
That's crazy how that
really
happens.
serendipitous, or I would say divinely inspired meeting. And so you live right around the corner, and you're saying you've been a stay-at-home mom for 10 years. Now,
Yeah.
isn't it interesting that just the idea of a stay-at-home mom has become a little bit of a lightning rod? So tell us about your experience as a mom and why you like being a mom.
Oh my goodness. Stay-at-home mom has a lot of ups and downs. I'll tell you that. But I at first it was really hard for me. It was really hard to stay home and take care of the kids and everything. I kind of lost a sense of self. Uh, all of a sudden I lost everything that was about me and was just focusing on these beautiful children. So it was hard at first, but I've slowly grown and found myself again and realized that if I take care of myself, then I can take care of my children. And I don't expect my children to do anything that I don't say like, oh, don't do what I do. I want them to do what I do. So I want to be the example for them. So I have taken better care of myself, and I've really, during that process, I have really learned to love motherhood.
That is awesome. And I think the world is changing a little bit, unfortunately, not in the right direction, where we are kind of denigrating even the idea of womanhood, right? And we're basically creating, like, I would say, artificial sense of what womanhood means. Basically, it's been denigrated to the point where it almost has no meaning anymore, because now anybody can wake up today and decide they're a woman, right?
Mm.
And it's like we're taking away what made women special, what made them who they are, and basically saying it's almost like a costume that a person can put on and take off when they please. And I feel like that cheapens the true value of womanhood. I've been married for 17, going on 18 years now. And I
Congratulations.
believe, my wife, I wouldn't be half as far as I am today in my life without my wife being there and being an anchor and challenging me when I have, crazy ideas and things like that, and making sure that I'm making, good decisions and living up to my potential. So I really appreciate that. And the way she raises our kids is an inspiration to me. And so I don't know why society seems to be like fighting against, the natural instincts of womanhood, the God-given talents and gifts of womanhood, and trying to kind of make it into some kind of, like I said, costume that you put on and take off. And so, what are your thoughts about that kind of the movement going around this topic?
Well, I haven't actually thought that much about that specifically. I think that I am so busy with other thoughts that I haven't really put much thought into that. Uh, you know, I I have a song that that's a part of the lyrics are um when two grow together, they can see things better. Uh, and I think that having a partner like my husband, he supports me in staying home, and he's helped me just like your wife has helped you. Uh, we grow together and we see things better, and that's the lifestyle that we have chosen. And uh, as in what society has done, I'm not so much focused on that. I'm more so focused on what I choose for my family, and being an example to my children and to those around me, and what a really happy and healthy life can be like.
I love that. I think it harkens to me the words of the Savior when he said, "Be in the world, but not of the world," right? that we can live in the world, even with all the crazy things that are happening around us, and still choose to live a life that is worthy of Him and worthy of the values we believe in, right? And I
Yeah.
think sometimes people give themselves up to this idea that, hey, I am stuck in a situation where I don't have the agency to make the choices that would lead me where I want to go. And I like the fact that you're saying, hey, what is happening around the world, I don't have any control over. I can
Yeah.
control, my sphere of influence. And that sphere of influence is my family. And I can have that influence on my family and be an example for them. So I really like that. So let's talk
Thank you.
about your journey in music. So we invited you to the show because you have a journey that you recently went through, and it involved some ups and downs and some obstacles to overcome. And so let's tell us a little bit about that journey and what inspired that journey.
Yes. Oh my. So I was listening to General Conference back in 2021. So I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and we have conferences semi-annually. And so this was back in 2021, and our prophet was speaking at the very end, and his talk was called "Make Time for the Lord." And after he spoke, after he was done, a song came to my mind immediately. It just like almost like it just came to me, like almost like I didn't have a choice. Of course I had a choice, but it like came to me like that. It just like hit me, and I was like, wow, I need to write this down. I wrote it down. I mean, I wrote that down. I think I wrote that the whole song within a few hours.
Wow.
And I just felt really strong that I needed to share this with people, because I served a mission in North Carolina, and I remember knocking doors and trying to help others come closer to Jesus Christ. Uh, and a lot of people would open the door and say, I think what you're doing is wonderful. I have made too many mistakes in my life. I'm so in the deep end that I've dug such a big hole. I can't get out of it. Even Jesus Christ can't save me. I'm too far uh away. I just can't. But you keep going. You keep doing what you're doing. And I was just like, "Oh my goodness. No, you can come back, like no matter what you've done. Like Jesus Christ he can heal you, but you have to allow it. And he will hear you. And no matter what's happened in your life, he'll do the same thing, because some things we don't have control over. Some things happen to us, and he's still there for us. He can heal us through those things too. And so I was like, I need to share this with everybody. And I wanted to get that out to every single person out there, especially to those like that they close the door, and I was like, oh, my heart is broken for them. They still have hope. They can still have happiness and joy and peace in their lives.
That is cool. So you were inspired by that talk and
Mm-hmm.
wrote your first song. And I have I'm somewhat of an amateur writer, and I kind of dabble with some musical instruments, and so
Oh,
we'll talk about that a little more in detail later. But I understand the process of creating, music has become increasingly easier. Back in the day, you needed to go to some recording studio and figure it out. Is this something you were already familiar with, or did you know exactly, you know, were there some obstacles in the way to getting that song out?
oh, yes. There were a lot of obstacles, because I'm actually not that familiar with writing music. I actually don't read music.
Oh, really?
I don't read music. I grew up in a family of singing. We pretty much sometimes we didn't talk, we like sang to each other. But we sang a lot. So I have a really good ear. And but I don't read music. I don't play an instrument. I think I know a few chords on the guitar and the ukulele. That's pretty much it. So with my songs, I just write the melody and the lyrics. And the song comes to me, I can hear it, but I can't play it on an instrument or write down the notes or anything. But you're right, it is a lot easier nowadays because there's help out there that you can say, hey, I want it to sound like this, and they just put it together for you.
That is cool. I haven't actually taken any of the stuff that I've done to the next level yet, but
Well, I have some connections for you, Alma.
we'll talk about that. So let's talk about some of the ups and downs that you had. And it seems like from what I got from Jenny, there was a point where you were wondering whether this was something you wanted to continue. Tell me what the challenges were and why the self-doubt, and how did you overcome it?
Yes. Alma, I didn't even know where to start. Like, I had no idea where to start. I didn't know who to contact. I know I wanted to get this song out to everybody, but like, I didn't. I looked up how much money it cost, and I don't have any disposable income. Uh, like, I was like, how am I going to pay for this? I didn't know. Like, there was a lot of self-doubt. A lot. It was hard because I got a lot of no's. Because I tried to reach out to people, and a lot of them just didn't have the time to help me, and because I was trying to do it without spending any money. But some wished they had the time to help me, but they they couldn't at the time. So it really put a damper on me, and I was like, okay, is this really the spirit that's been prompting me to do this, you know? And I was like, if it is, then somehow, some way, this is gonna happen.
So then,
Uh,
what happened next?
oh well, well, I prayed. That's what I do for everything. I
Mhm.
prayed, and I basically told Heavenly Father, I was like, okay, if this needs to happen, please help me. I need the money. I need an idea. I need a person. And so he sent me earthly and heavenly. I felt help from heaven too. And I had the strong feeling I needed to for this song to come out. And he led me to the people I needed. I don't know if you want to go into that yet. Do you want me to go into that
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
Okay. So basically he led me to my earthly angels. The first and foremost are my children. I know that might sound like interesting, but my children are my number one fans. Like, I sing my songs to them and they're like, "Oh mama, I love that song. Oh, it's so good." And they helped me. They're my little fans. And I also thought, okay, so what do I need to do to get this song out? And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna send a message to the church music department of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I sent them an email and I said, hey, is this even something to pursue? Would this be even something that you'd be interested in? I need to know the truth here. And somebody in the music department, I don't know who, they messaged me back and they said, this is something that if you reach out to your network, maybe you could, this has good potential. And I was like, oh, okay. Then I reached out to people and I got a whole bunch of no's. And then I went to church and I was like, okay, I'm just meant to just sing this song to my primary class, that's my church class. So that day that I decided to sing it with the lesson, because it went along with the lesson, there was a substitute that needed to be in with me, and Sister Peck. And I didn't know that she's very musically talented. And I sang the song as part of the lesson. And she came up to me after class and she said, "You need to produce that song." And I was like, "What? Okay, I guess I need to produce it. There's another earthly angel telling me to produce it." So I reached out again to local artists and things, and got a lot of no's again. And so I was just going to give up. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm just going to give up. And I was praying again, and Jenny Johnson came to my mind. And I was like, okay. So I just text her, and we chatted too. And she's like, "Come on over to my house. Let's take a look at it." And she welcomed me in her home, and she gave me some advice on the song. She helped me know what I could do. She's like, "You need to have some professional help with it." And she shared some of her musical knowledge with me. And she helped me just like get the courage to keep going, you know? And so I decided to reach out again to everybody. So I reached out to the community on Eagle Mountain Community. What is that? Eagle Mountain Community Citizens Facebook page. And a guy answered on there. His name's Mark Porter. And he said, "Hey, reach out to Noisebox Studios." And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, that's great, but I don't have any money. Well, then another mentor came into my life, which is my husband, because he got a bonus. And I didn't know he was going to give me some of it, and he gave me some of his bonus. And so I was able to reach out to Noisebox Studios, Dave Zimmerman, who's one of my producers. And he connected me to Daniel Blumberg, who is another, he's constructed the music part of my song. And then I ran out of money again. And so I was like, okay, Heavenly Father, I can't do this now. Like, we're in the middle of all this, but I can't do it again. I don't have any money left. And my husband got another bonus. Heavenly Father was like, okay, here you go. And he surprised me on Valentine's Day. He gave me an envelope that said "for your song" on it. And it was enough to produce the rest of the song. And so since then, I've had new mentors come in and help me with producing this song. I have a writing club that they help me with some of the harmonies and such suggestions. My sister Jenny helped me with the scratch CD. She is the vocalist on the scratch CD. And my parents, of course, helped me. And then I found another vocalist, Jerica Jameson. She sang the theme song for 2023, "I Can Do All Things." And she sang my song. And she introduced me to Carrie Yost. And if you know her, oh my goodness, she's produced Rise as One. You got to look that one up.
Okay.
And she produced Believe as well. And I've also now been in contact with radio hosts and podcast people such as you, Alma. And so like Carl Watkins, radio host, has been a wonderful mentor for me. And so I've had so many supporters, Alma. I could go on and on. I think I've said enough for now, but like I've had so many people help me through this, and they're all answered to prayers.
I love this. I love this so much because for me, this is a testament to the fact that, like you said, there are earthly angels, people who God puts in our path, because when he gives you a mission, he is obligated to provide a way for you to achieve that mission, right? That's his promise, that if he asks you to do something, then he's going to open the doors for you to be able to do it. And so all he
That's
needs is,
beautiful.
for you to keep moving on. And a couple of weeks ago, I talked about my experience of hiking Timpanogos and the feeling that I had, which was just put one foot in front of the other and don't turn around, right? Just keep going. Even if it took you longer than everybody else, just keep going, just keep going. And I think the Lord knows, the end from the beginning. He knows our potential, but he requires us to discover that potential by being willing to have enough faith in him to take that step, that one step, to make that call and to continue making the call even when we hear the no's, right? I think that's the secret. And for me, coming to America, one of the things that I've always told people who have told me, hey, the American dream is dead because, we don't have this or that. I say that's the saddest thing to me, because the thing that robs you of your potential is disbelief and despair, right? When
Yes.
you have disbelief and you have despair, it becomes a blur. Your potential becomes a blur, and you get farther and farther away from it. And the farther you get away from it, the harder it is for you to believe that you can achieve those things. And so I love the fact that it was a network of people. And I love the fact that you remember all the names. That's just amazing that you saw these angels in your way and you did not forget who they were. And so that, I feel, it's a testament to your gratitude for all these people who were put in your path to get you to where you're going. And I really love that. I
Thank
love that so
you.
much. So
It
thank you
it
so much for
reminds
sharing.
me, what you
Go
said
ahead.
reminds me a lot of, because I think a lot of people think that when they are trying to achieve a dream or goal that they have, that it has to be something huge, something humongous, you know? And one thing my husband told me one time is that you you can still achieve your dreams on a smaller level. Is that, like, that's still achieving your dreams? Like, it's still, if you reach out and you, like, if my song just touched one heart, that is accomplishing my dream. And so it really is possible, like, the dreams are reachable.
I love that. And I believe that sincerely. The fact that I'm sitting here today doing what I'm doing here right now is a dream come true, but it had to start somewhere, right? And I
Yes.
remember when I started the podcast, I could not do it live. I could not do it on video because I felt so awkward. I felt like suddenly I didn't know how to talk anymore. And it was just so hard for me. And that's why I couldn't do it before I met Jenny as well. Because every time I would look in the camera and try to talk to the camera, it was weird, it was awkward, and I just felt like a fraud. It was like I was an imposter. And, but I needed someone to say, it's okay, it's going to get better, you're going to get more comfortable with the camera. It's going to work. Just keep going. And for me, just like you said, it's the little steps, because I remember when I would post a video and I would get, 100 likes or something like that. And I would tell my wife, I got it. I got that. My video is blowing up. And she'll be like, how far is it? And I'm like, I got 100 likes. And so
That's
that was
wonderful.
my goal, right? I was achieving my dream with 100 likes. And it was just believing that you were going to get there. And I think one of the things that people forget is that we judge ourselves today based on the people who have already been going, 10 years before us.
Yes.
That's one of the challenges I've seen. And I'm guilty of this, where I am looking at someone I admire who's been doing, podcasts or being on TV for, 25 years. And then somehow I begin to judge myself against that, not
Mhm.
recognizing that even the little that I'm doing, it's a beginning, it's a step to where I want to be. And so it is important for us to judge ourselves based on where we currently are and what our potential allows us to do based on where we currently are, right? And I'm sure you
Yes.
discovered that as well.
Oh, yes, for sure. And one thing that you said too is believing in yourself. Like believing and then other people believing in you. It reminds me of there's a really, really cute Charlie Brown song. You have to look this one up too, because it's so cute. It's called Just One Person. And like it talks about if all what does it say? If all those people believe in you deep enough and strong enough, believe in you hard enough and long enough, you will start seeing what everybody sees in you. And maybe even you can believe in you too.
Oh,
It's beautiful. And so once you believe in yourself and then we have all these other people that believe in us too, that then we're unstoppable. We can achieve anything, you know, anything, even if it's on a smaller scale. Congratulations on anybody who listens to your podcast and is uplifted by it. And I feel so blessed when anybody listens to my song, you know, and I've had so many texts and calls that people have sent me saying thank you, you know, for the song. I needed this. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I just wanted that from even just one person, and since it's going out to more than one, it's just amazing.
that is amazing. And this idea of believing in yourself, I think on social media, my handle is willful positivity. And I talk about that. And I think positivity sometimes is a gift that certain people have. They just have this optimistic demeanor in nature. And I think I have a little bit of that. But for the most part, positivity is something that we have to manufacture for ourselves, even when the going gets tough, right? We have to be willful about it. In Ghana, there's a proverb that says, "In happiness is like a perfume. You have to put it up on yourself for others to appreciate it," right? So it's just the same way as positivity is like a perfume. You have to wake up and say, I am going to put this on myself, right? For others to be able to see and appreciate it. And when you are positive, it's like walking into a room, a dark room with light. What does that do? Growing up in Africa, one of the things we struggled with a lot was power outages. And when there was power outage, I remember my little sister, anytime the power will go out, she would scream on top of her lungs. She would just scream, and we don't want her to run, especially in the evening. Don't want her to run lest she hit herself against a wall or something. So we're like, stay where you are, stay where you are. And then finally, mom would find a candle and turn on that candle, and suddenly everybody gathers towards the light. And this is how I see the world is sometimes there's going to be darkness. And I feel like our world is going through a lot of darkness right now. But we can make a choice to be that candle. And that candle may not illuminate the entire world. It may illuminate just our little sphere of influence. And that is enough, right? That is enough. And we need to be content with that and keep the candle burning.
You were talking about your sphere of influence. I love that. I think that is so amazing. It goes right along with what we're saying and achieving your dreams, that you can achieve your dreams around your sphere of influence. I really like that a lot.
I think that's important. Um, and so if you feel your dreams are too far away from where you are currently, then live your dreams closer to where you are, right? And that would be my advice to people who are, seeking to move forward with something that they love to do, is fulfill your dreams where it matters, which is as close to you as possible, to the people who care about you. If there is some way that you can bring them a version of your dream, right? I think that can be a blessing in their lives, and that serves as a reminder to you and a support to you that you can actually achieve the things that you're trying to achieve. So I love your song, and I've played it for my kids. I've played it for my family. I feel like the words are divinely inspired, as you said. And I know some of you have heard the song before, but I'm going to put it again at the end of this episode so you hear it again now that you've met the creator of this song and heard the story behind it. I think it will even be more meaningful to you this time around. So I'm going to do that before the episode ends. But I wanted to thank JoNeal so much for taking time out of her day to join us today to share her story. The goal of this podcast is to bring, I feel, inspiring stories that bring us together. I think that there's so much more that unites us than divides us. And yet it seems like the magnifying glass of the media, of society, has been placed on all the things that divide us. And we need to take the focus away from those things and focus on some of the things we can agree on. So I say, let's not agree to disagree. Let's agree to agree, because there's so much more that we agree on than divides us. So what is your parting message to the audience and to anyone who is feeling like, a little despair? What do you say to them?
Oh, wow. One is of course, never give up. You know, and just like in the song is called "No Matter What You've Done." No matter what you've done, or no matter what's been going on around you, especially like you've been saying in the world right now, there's lots of stuff going on around us that's like that's more than heartbreaking. That Christ is there, that He's here to heal us, and He hears us. There's I was scrolling through social media one time, and a quote popped up, and of course it was from President Russell M. Nelson, and he said, "Don't be afraid to pursue your goals, even your dreams." And so that's my ending message: is don't be afraid to pursue your goals, even your dreams.
Thank you. I think that sums it all up. And I feel this exact same way. JoNeal is fulfilling her dreams right now. And so check out her song. Go find it on YouTube. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. Anyone who needs a little bit of buoy, and a little bit of encouragement, share it with them so they can, like the people you knocked, the people whose doors you knocked on, who thought that they were too far gone. This message is for people like that, to know that you're not too far gone. You cannot be too far gone from the love of your creator and your savior, right? And so thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today on Restitch America. If you enjoyed the episode, please share it with your friends and family. Invite others to join us next week for another episode of Restitch America. Until then, have a great rest of your day.